We call it Sweet Talking Comics with Dan and Comic Book Man.
Yours not to question why, yours to do as I say or die.
Now for your enjoyment, Sweet Talkin' Sweet Dan Sweet will review Superman, The Last Family of Krypton.
Hey folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time for
Sweet Talking with Sweet Dan Sweet and Comic Book Man, coming to you from Comic Book Man's video outhouse,
which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie, and Alternate Reality, which is the best comic book store in the city of Chicago. Alternate Reality, all new comics, 15% off every day for everyone, including Superman, The Last Family of Krypton, the miniseries, the Elseworlds series that's coming from DC Comics. Features the L family. The Elseworlds imprint, DC scrapped about 2 years ago, and now for some reason they're bringing it back. It's got the little Elseworlds bug on it and everything. It's not it's not one of the 52 Earths. It's an Elseworlds story, which I've always thought was a fine concept. I don't know why they scrapped it in the first place. It's just what if stuff. You don't have to slug everything into an Earth and categorize it and put it in punch cards and all this crap. It just happens.
But we love punch cards.
Yeah.
That ebbs and flows with whoever's like the editor-in-chief at the time.
Well, yeah, it has a lot to do with whoever's in charge. But the same people who got rid of Elseworlds are still in charge, so I don't know. I don't know where their heads are at DC. But anyway, this series is out. It's a 3-issue miniseries. Three-issue miniseries. And how is it, Dan?
Really good.
Really good.
I thought it was really good. It's a little expensive, but it is an oversized issue. 48 pages, I think.
Okay. $4.99 cover price.
$4.99 cover price, but it is a lot of story. And the idea is Superman wasn't alone when he came from Krypton to Earth. As the title would suggest, his parents came with him.
So all three of them came to Earth.
All three of them came to Earth.
And then Krypton gets blown off.
And then Krypton gets blown to hell.
Yeah.
And then they're on Earth, and they're super people, and it's a lot of fun. There's a couple of odd things that happen. It's got a very Reed Richards Fantastic Four science vibe. It's got a very corporate, almost Wildcats 3.0 vibe to it. It's you've mentioned the religious aspect that they introduce from Krypton to Earth.
I forget what they call it in the thing.
Rowology.
Yeah, rowology, which seems like a very thinly disguised Dianetics or Scientology.
It was interesting. I thought it became instantly more entertaining when Clark ended up living with the Kents. So he still lives with the Kents, despite the fact that his parents are on the planet with him.
Now, why is he wind up with the Kents?
His father starts a company, Jor-Corps. Jor-El Corps, actually, Jor-Corps. And his mom starts a religion.
Yeah.
So they're very busy, almost showbiz parents. Almost.
So they're the nannies.
The Kents
Jonathan and Martha are the nannies.
Except that Superman, Kal-El, still assumes the role of Clark Kent.
Okay.
He still says he's Clark Kent. He still puts on the glasses. He still bumbles his way through social interaction at school. Lex Luthor is in it. He's a genius. As a schoolmate chum of Clark. Okay. He gets recruited to go work for Jor-Corps.
Oh, how about that?
So I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe in a weird way, a la Smallville, where Lionel Luthor is attempting to goad Lex into being some sort of a prick because he loves Clark so much. Yeah. This might be the opposite. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a huge comic. It's in #1. Yeah. There's 2 more issues to go. And by the end of this, you're like, I want to keep reading more. So it's almost unfortunate that this isn't like another Earth where they're going to recapture this at some point and come back. But I really like it. I think it's phenomenal.
It's written by Cary Bates, who
I've never heard of.
Who I have. Cary Bates wrote Superman along with Elliot Maggin. They were the 2 Superman writers throughout almost all of the 70s and a good chunk of the 80s until John Byrne came in and DC said, "You two, go away." And John Byrne took over Superman, did whatever he did with him. But they were the 2 guys that wrote the majority of the Superman stuff throughout the 70s and into the early 80s. Cary Bates was the guy. And he left after that happened with Superman. He actually did Captain Atom for a while at DC. He left. He got out of comics. I'm not sure what he did. I didn't follow his career. Then he came back a few years ago at Marvel. He did a thing called True Believers, which was a miniseries, which did not sell at all, but was actually quite interesting. And then he wandered back over to DC, and he's doing this. And if you've read any of Cary Bates' stuff from the 70s, this isn't it. His writing style has changed. The years in the wilderness have changed him considerably. This is not his old writing style.
And as soon as you said that he was a writer from the 70s,
Yeah.
I instantly thought this couldn't have been how he wrote back then. I mean,
it's
comics were written drastically different, but where some writers like Mr. Claremont like to retain those traits, grasp onto them like life rafts in the middle of the ocean, he sort of embraced the new style of storytelling that's overtaking comics, and I thought it flowed really well. I would read more books by this guy.
Well, like I said, Cary Bates left comics for a while. After his Captain Atom run, I'm not sure where he went. He did one or two other little things at DC, then he just sort of left and got out of comics, I think, for a while. And then he came back, and I think leaving and coming back was probably, the best thing for him as far as his comic writing style goes. I would assume that he's done other more important things in the intervening years besides just doing comics, and he's just coming back to do this, for the hell of it. But maybe if Chris Claremont was kicked out of comics for 10 years and then had to come back.
Maybe if Chris Claremont was kicked out of comics for 10 years ago and came back. I think that boat's missed.
Things would be vastly different with him.
But no, I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, you think he's developed as a writer as opposed to...
His style's definitely changed. It's definitely changed.
For the better or worse?
For the better.
Okay.
For the better. I mean, you can pick out... I mean, I read all that stuff in the 70s and 80s because Superman was my guy. And I can pick out some of the old storytelling stuff, but it's very thinly veiled in there. I mean, it's a completely different style from what he used to do.
I liked it. I liked this series a lot.
How's the art?
Art was good. Art was really, really good. Solid, clean lines, lots of backgrounds, rich environments, and stuff like that.
Renato Arlem.
Yeah.
Renato Arlem. He drew it. Sounds like another Italian find.
They've been going all over the world looking for people. I mean, they're not Marvel on a Chester quest, but they're definitely reaching out and trying to grab people. And I honestly have to say, DC does have almost, I want to say, a house style. Yeah. It feels like it, and this sort of fits right in. So if you like the way a lot of DC books look, you're gonna like the way this looks, regardless of whether or not you've heard of Renato Arlem.
Okay. So this is a big thumbs up.
Absolutely, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
See,
I really liked it. I really liked it.
We never ask what you think of these comics.
It's because it's called Sweet Talking.
I know it's my show, and I'm asking you because Superman's your guy. You just said so. You like the book.
I have no problem with this book. I have no problem with this book primarily because, and I didn't even mention, the '60s imaginary stories that DC did, some of which Cary Bates wrote, a lot of other people wrote. It's sort of a throwback to that. The whole idea of Jor-El and Lara coming to Earth with Kal-El when the planet explodes is not a new idea. This is stuff that was done in the '60s in imaginary stories, which is exactly what this is. The Elseworld stuff is an imaginary story. But it's been done before. It's been done before, but not like this.
I can't wait till I've been reading comics for 40 years and I can't have fun with them anymore.
Yeah, well, you'll be looking in the abyss then, believe me, because I've done that. Okay, but that's it. We're done.
Right.
We're finished. We're out of here.
Let's leave on a high note.
We've got nothing else to say. Nothing else to say about this book. But you can read more of Dan's reviews on the store's website. And where's the store's website at? Sarah.
www.myalternatereality.com. So can I go home now?
So, go to the Abyss and read all of his reviews at the store's website where Sarah just sent you. Until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
And this is Sweet Dan Sweet.
Say it! Bye!
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.